Scarborough Sanitary District to order. Call roll. Tony.
Here.
Mike.
Here.
Jason. Here. Joe. I'm present. All right. I'm Nick and I'm present too. Approval of the minutes. Open to suggestion.
Oh.
Thank you, Jason. Second. Oh, do I got to start over again?
Yes, please.
All right. Let's call this regular monthly meeting to order yet again of the Scarborough Sanitary District. It's Thursday, April 24, 2025, and we'll call the roll this way. Joe.
Present.
Jason.
Here.
Mike.
Here.
Tony.
Here.
I'm here too. My name is Nick, and I'll be the chair for the night. All right. Looking for a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Jason.
Second.
Thank you, Mike. Any corrections? All in favor? None opposed. Thank you. Superintendent's report.
Okay, a copy of the monthly report of operations for the month of March is included in your packet. Our average effluent flow for the month was 1.85 million gallons per day. Our effluent quality was well within our permitted limits. We averaged 96% BOD removal and 96% TSS removal with monthly average concentrations of 9 and 7 milligrams per liter, respectively. Copy of the pump station flows for the month of March is included in your packet. No issues were noted. T-Buck has submitted pay application number 4 for $52,060 for the pump station number 1 construction. At this point in time, the sheeting has been installed and the excavation for the wet well has been completed, and the mud seal for the foundation of the wet well has been installed. That got installed today. I did include a copy of the pay application and progress meeting notes with the packet. With regards to the wastewater treatment facility dewatering upgrades, the contractor has mobilized to the treatment facility and delivered their office trailer, utility trailer, and some pipe. They will be submitting on a temporary belt filter press for the temporary dewatering plan versus the screw press that they had originally submitted on, which was slightly undersized. And they actually will be starting on site this coming Monday. Pump Station 8, that wet well for that pump station down at the 28, sorry. Has been set and in place, and the contractor is currently laying the gravity sewer up Downs Road. Let's see, on May 2nd, the Roots Learning Community will be visiting the wastewater treatment facility for a tour. Those students range in ages from 8 to 11. Our annual audit will be presented this coming May at the regular monthly meeting. In this past month, on the 31st of March, we did host Albert McCormick's Scarborough High School APS class for a tour of the treatment facility. I provided you a picture of that. On a couple other items I'd like to add to my report, and I'm going to want to brag a little bit. My son Alden just got a U.S. Navy ROTC scholarship to Maine Maritime, and it looks like that's where he will be attending school. And my other son, Elliot, just won the Maine State VEX Robotics competition, and on May 8th, I will be heading out to Dallas, Texas with him as he competes in the World Championships. With that, there will be 75 countries represented there. And finally, on a not so pleasant note, this has been a 1-year anniversary of Josh's passing. So we did send flowers out both to Josh's mom and to his wife, Emily. So, and that's what I have for my report.
All right. Any questions for the superintendent?
I have a quick question. Who's the contractor for the belt filter?
I'm sorry, I did leave that off. That is Apex.
Oh, okay.
All right. Correspondence.
Just want to make that note. Correspondence. Let's see. Attached is a copy of DEP's Department of Environmental Protection's biannual inspection report of the treatment facility, which was conducted in February 24th. I just did receive the report. As always, we had a very favorable review, as noted in his report. This facility is well maintained and operated. Staff seem to work very well together. They take an aggressive approach to staying ahead of aging equipment at the plant and throughout the collection system. The current $10.1 million budget includes $1 million for asset reserves. On another note, I did receive an email from Keith Knowlton, which I attached, regarding the impact of the recent development as had on the district's facility. As I had advised them in the attached email, the plant capacity is 2.5 million gallons per day, and we are currently treating on average of about 1.5 million gallons per day. I also spoke to him about our aggressive asset management program and invited him for a plant tour, which he actually expressed interest in doing. So, and that's all I have on correspondence.
Any questions for the superintendent? Okay. Moving on. Old business. Island Avenue.
You ready? Yeah.
Yeah.
So during our last two regular monthly meetings, we have been discussing the proposed pressure sewer extension down Highland Avenue from number 14 to number 38 Highland Ave. As requested by the board, I did reach out to Bernstein Shore for some clarification on the process. Following are my questions and a summary of the responses. The full text can be read in their email, which is attached. And the first question was regard to a public hearing, and the short answer to that is no. 7 days prior to the trustees' vote, the district is required to publish a notice in the newspaper. A notice was published in the Portland Press Herald on April 16th. A public hearing is required as part of the assessment process. How must the public meeting be published? And I basically referenced above. Do we have to go out to bid for this work? And the answer on that is no, we do not. What are our options for collecting payments for the homeowners? If we float the payment over time, and what would we need to do to ensure payment? One option is to require payment at the time of property transfer or connection to the sewer. And the response was, once the assessments are made and filed with the clerk, a lien is created upon the subject parcel. There is a 6-year statute of limitations on the collection of any debt from the date of the debtor's last activity on that debt. And then I asked if I was missing anything, and they responded, the district must receive written assurances from the town that any lot served by the sewer extension is in conformity with any adopted municipal plans and ordinance regulating land use and consistent with adopted municipal plans and ordinances regulating land use. I have requested those assurances, and they will be submitting them to me in due time. I recommend approving the proposed Highland Ave sewer extension as previously discussed to serve lots 14 through 38 with the intent to assess the lots 50% of the cost of the sewer extension. I also recommend amending the district's budget by $90,000 to fund the sewer extension.
I'll entertain a motion so we can discuss the project again.
I have a question.
Not until we get a motion, please. Are you moving?
I'm good.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Joe. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mike. Now you can say your question, Tony.
So I'm a bit confused by this. So if they don't pay the assessment at the time that it's due, you're telling me there's a lien against the property until they pay it?
No, if we float the loan, or float, not the loan,
Payment.
the payment over a period of time, we have to lien the property, yes. Because that's, at least that's my understanding of how the attorneys answer. That, their actual written, let me get to it.
Tony, when we did it in Wells, it wasn't technically a lien. What we did was we had the neighbors sign a memo of understanding that was
That would
filed
be
at the
better
registry.
served, I think.
So that if they ever tried to sell, it would come up in a title search. And that's how we would recoup the funds.
All right, okay. Once the assessments are made and filed with the clerk, a lien is created upon a subject parcels by option of 38 MRS 1205, within 10 days after the public hearing. The clerk must certify the parties and the amounts and deliver that list to the treasurer. If the assessment is not paid within 3 months, then the statute permits the treasurer to undertake a civil collection action in court that would result in a forced sale of the property to recoup the funds. Per statute, the assessment cannot be made until the sewer is constructed and completed. While not specified in the statute, there's no restriction upon the district arriving at an alternative means of collection, i.e. lengthening the runway for collection, but doing so could impact the district's ability to ultimately collect on the debt. For example, there is a 6-year statute of limitation on the collection of any debt from the date of the debtor's last activity on the debt. That would,
I understand that, just,
yeah.
I guess, anytime you have a lien against a property, that wouldn't suit well with me, that's for sure. I mean, I don't know what the rights the town has to that property with a lien against it, right? You know what I'm saying? Where you said that, you didn't call it a lien, you called it whatever.
It was a memo of understanding, you know, technically it probably acted as a lien, but what's the big deal? Really? I mean, if the town needs to take a property and we have a lien on it, they have first dibs. And then we get next ones. You know, but these wonderful folks here are, we're not gonna take their properties with liens, and we don't have to get the nitty-gritty details all done tonight about the assessment. That we can work out while it's getting constructed.
Okay.
We can't even do the assessment until,
Until after
After
the whole
completion
project
project.
is done,
No, I
and
understand.
that's when we'll have a public hearing.
just on a on a related note, we go through the lien process on a regular basis with homeowners, or not even just homeowners, but customers that do not pay their bill after 90 days?
90, but the attorney suggested after 120, because we give them 30 days to pay.
Yeah, so after 120 days, we start a lien process, and it's the process that happens
It's a
multiple
notification
times.
of
Yeah,
essentially that your property will be liened if non-payment. Payment is not made
Within 30 days, yeah.
within 30 days, correct?
but where, if there's an agreement for a 6-year window, you know, the legal, how that paperwork gets worked out,
Okay.
yeah, that's, I don't know how that gets done, but it's a process that,
Thank you.
questions? Do we have any questions from the public? What's that?
The only question I had is timing,
Timing.
construction, do we know, or?
It would be very-
Drew,
My understanding, they'd do it right off.
I know that was talked about, but I didn't know if there had been any additional conversations.
be my guest, Drew.
Drew Gagnon, Goral Palmer. We just got survey in, so we need to prepare the plans to the district certification, and then they'll be right into construction right after it. So as soon as there's a positive vote on that, the clock will be on me to get that done, so.
So probably within the next month or two, if we decide to move forward with this.
Thank you.
Anyone else need to ask a question? Talk on camera? No? Okay. That works for me. Any other questions? All in favor of this? Oh, Joe?
I was just gonna, so for clarification, we're voting the project, and then we'll have a public hearing after the assessment.
No, the way it works, and it was my fault last month, I didn't remember it correctly from when I went through it. The public hearing is only required before we make an assessment. So before we vote on an assessment, we have to have a public hearing. Before we can even do that, the project has to be completed and constructed. Otherwise, you know, according to what Dave read this afternoon, evening, the statute says we can't do an assessment until it's been built. So we vote on it, it gets built, we pay for it, and then when it's done, we hold a public hearing, and then we vote on the assessment.
Those same regulations are the ones that limit us from, at 50% of the value of the construction is what we can assess. It's that same language in the law there.
So when should we expect to provide the homeowners in the area some more clarity?
Good question. When we had done it in Wells twice, I think the first time we did it, we voted on the extension in February, and the public hearing happened in December. So it was about an 8-month process, and through that 8 months, we talked it over as a group with the trustees and came up with a plan that worked for us. And then we presented it to the public, and for the most part, it worked for them too.
I think in this case here, it'd be a lot quicker, just because I know Risborough is ready to actually do the construction, right off. So I would suspect in this case here, we probably have the construction complete within 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, please.
Hi.
When are you expecting payment from us for anything?
I'm sorry?
When are you expecting payment from us?
That's something we need to work out. I mean, we can set up payment plans, we can, not until we can even just say don't pay until you connect.
Or 6 years, if.
Right, or
There-
6
there
years,
is a-
whatever comes
there's a limit.
second, first, something like that. We haven't worked out all those details. We're open to your input, though,
Hence the public hearing.
hence the public hearing. Yes.
Yeah, and so that's basically what I want to try to give these guys clarity with, because they've now come now for a third month in a row, and I don't want to keep on stringing them along for that aspect of it. And obviously, I think I can probably speak for the rest of my board members where we'll be willing to, make an arrangement that's very reasonable. I mean, personally, unless I hear something more moving, I'm in favor of the project for not only the rest of the ratepayers that we're serving, but also for the value of their homes and such like that. But I just want to make sure that we're communicating effectively to those that are impacted on timelines, especially when the construction is going to happen, so they can make their appropriate decisions on connecting and taking advantage of the opportunity from Risbearer to, with what they bid them out. I just want to make sure we're being very, and I know you have been, Dave, I just want to give them clarity, because I think we expected a little bit more of this tonight than we have.
I think the clarity piece probably, that's really, you know, for the residents that are strongly considering connecting, you know, they know the timeline of their cost impacts. For the residents that are not planning on connecting, there's that, I think we, for round numbers purposes, it was $4,000, I think it was. You know, when do they need to come forward with that? Because I know if it was me, it's, you know, that's a significant amount of money. You know, I got a kid going to Texas and one going to Maine Maritime, so cash flow is king. And so I guess looking for some assurances from the board that, you know, they're not expecting the money to be paid out, that $4,000 to be paid out within in the next 4 months, you know, when the construction is complete, if there's, you know, as you say, a reasonable payment plan established, which I think the board in whole is amenable to.
Yeah, I would second that from Joe. I think it's, I am certainly of the mindset that we're going to make it as easy for the folks with as little economic impact as possible and work with them in a timely manner.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions? All in favor? None opposed? Thank you, folks. Thank you, Drew.
Thank you for all your input, and, you know, for some of you, you know, it's a hard decision, and, you know, I truly do believe for the long term, it is the right decision that the board is making. Otherwise, they wouldn't have presented it. So.
Cool. All right. New business, 103 Mussey Road. You folks can stay if you want.
On behalf of J&J 103 Muzzy Realty LLC, Goral Palmer requested the Scarborough Sanitary District Board of Trustees approval of the proposed multi-phase industrial/commercial development at 103 Muzzy Road. The proposed first phase of the development includes construction of a two-story manufacturing and office building with a gross area of 29,470 square feet, along with associated parking, drives, utilities, and stormwater management facilities. The anticipated wastewater flows are 621 gallons per day. The proposed second phase of the development includes construction of an office building with a footprint of 10,000 square feet, as well as the associated parking, drives, and utilities in stormwater management facilities. The final details for the Phase 2 office building remain unknown currently. The anticipated wastewater flows for Phase 2 are 400 gallons per day. I recommend approval with the following conditions: the wastewater flow allocation of 1,021 gallons per day of typical sanitary waste. This project is fully subject to capacity reserve fee. The current capacity reserve fee is $20.06 per gallon per day, and that's based on the April 2025 Engineering News record. Based on the current rate and total capacity reserve fee, the total capacity reserve fee due is $20,481.26. Any additional flows are subject to additional approvals and capacity reserve fees. A complete sewer connection permit application for each phase and its associated fees shall be submitted to the district. Prior to the sewer connection permit being executed, no sewer work shall be completed.
Recommend approval based on the conditions set forth by the superintendent.
Thank you, Jason.
Second.
Thank you, Tony. We can invite Sam up to talk about the project a little bit more.
Good evening, Sam Foglio, Goral Palmer, representing the applicant. I believe David got it pretty well there. So we're going to be basically tying into the existing service that is on site according to the record drawings, and then just running, and that's at the right-of-way line, and then running our 6-inch service from there for the new development. I can answer any questions that you guys may have.
Is this the only thing going on the site, or is there anything future planned?
Yeah, so the phase 1 is going to be one building, phase 2 will be a second building, but that'll be all for the site.
Okay. Any other questions for Sam? Okay, all in favor? None opposed? Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, guys.
Technology. I said technology. All right, annual report.
Say, a copy of the annual report is attached, and I'll summarize it, reading through what I provided you. I am pleased to provide the annual report for the Scarborough Sanitary District for the calendar year of 2024. In 2024, the district provided wastewater collection and treatment services to 5,852 accounts, an increase of 51 accounts, of which 5,389 were residential, and the remaining 463 were commercial. Through these accounts, we provide service to 7,909 residential equivalent users and 2,954 commercial equivalent users. In addition to those that are connected to the district's collection system, the district provided treatment for another 21 customers that utilize the sanitary district's wastewater treatment facility to discharge septic tank waste. In 2024, the district issued a total of 91 permits. That's up a little bit from 2023, which was 68, and our high over the last 10 years was 204, which occurred in 2021. To the public sewer, 2 public sewer extensions were approved in 2024, as summarized. We received approximately 12 feet of 2-inch force main, 1,400 feet of 8-inch gravity sewers, 58 feet of 12-inch gravity sewers, and 11 manholes. As of 2024, the district owns and operates approximately 84 miles of gravity sewer and 24 miles of force main, 2,600 manholes, 26 pump stations, and a 2.5 million gallon per day wastewater treatment facility. In addition to the district-owned infrastructure, there's approximately 42,000 feet of private gravity sewer and 40,000 feet of private force mains and 37 private association pump stations. The district employs 12 full-time employees. The full-time employees are responsible for the collection system, treatment plant operation, and responding to customers' needs. Inspecting all new sewer installations and conducting district financial activities. The district's total budget included capital expenditures for 2024 was about $5.2 million, which was down from $900,000 from the 2023 budget. The district average cost of treatment in 2024 was approximately 1 cent per gallon. The budget includes several large capital projects, including pump station generators and control panels. A more detailed capital list I did provide at the end of the report. Wastewater treatment facility process on average 1.57 million gallons per day. Overall, we treated 573 million gallons of wastewater, from which we removed 94 to 90 and 97% of BOD and TSS, respectively. I did provide a comparison of the flows over the last number of years. And typical variation of flow from year to year is due to how wet a year may be. The total septic received in 2024 was 20,000 gallons approximately, down from 52,000 the year before. In 2024, the district hauled off-site all of its dewatered sludge. We had 77 dump trailers convey 3,400 cubic yards of dewatered sludge from the treatment facility. Let's see, last year we budgeted $928,000 for capital expenditures. In those, we had control panels for pump station, two pump stations. I'm just going to hit some of the highlights. Some design engineering for pump station 1, design engineering for dewatering upgrades, 2 generators, and the centrifuge pre-purchase for the dewatering upgrade that's going on. So in closing, I want to, the district remains dedicated to efficient treatment plant operation, and I've really, again, enjoyed my year working at the facility and working for the board and for the town. With that, I will take any questions.
We need to approve it? The
Yes.
report?
Yes,
Yeah, I'll take a motion to approve the report as presented, please.
Motion approved as presented.
Thank you, Joe.
Second.
Thank you, Jason. Now, any questions for the superintendent? Go ahead,
Yeah.
Tony.
Dave, what do you guys do for septic? How do you handle it?
We have a septic receiving station that the haulers they're all registered with the district and insured, provide proof of insurance. They just charge through a course bar screen that they have to rake themselves, and then and we meter the flow coming off of each truck, and it goes into a dedicated tank, which from there we meter it into the system over a period of time.
Cool. Yes, Mike?
So staying on the septage theme here, since 2018, it's dropped significantly. Last year, or from 2023 to 2024, it was more or less more than cut in half. What contributes to that? Are they finding a less expensive place to dispose?
Let me first speak to the significant drop from 2018 to 2019. We went from 177,000 gallons down to 88,000 gallons, or 89,000. That was a time, prior to that, ending in 2018, Bailey's Campground in the springtime used to pump all of their septic holding tanks and haul them to the sanitary district and discharge them into the sanitary district. The problem with that, we received so much septic over a short period of time that it would cause process problems at the treatment facility. And so I actually worked with Bailey's to coordinate a new system where they actually got a large tanker truck, I think it was Doobie at the time was hauling for them, where they would park the truck there and the septic hauler would pump and dump directly into the septic truck. It actually saved a lot of travel time from Bailey's to the treatment plant, and I think overall it ended up costing them less money. The difference between, you know, from, once that stopped, I think is primarily due to somebody's a nickel cheaper.
Cool. Any other questions? All in favor of the superintendent's report, annual report? None opposed. Budget summary.
The 4-month budget summary is included in your packet. I recommend approval.
So moved.
Thank you, Jay.
Second?
Thank you, Joe. Any questions for the superintendent? Barring none, all in favor? None opposed. Cool. We don't have any public left except for one person. Any comments? No public comments. All right. Trustee comments. We'll start with Tony.
Yeah, again, Dave, great job helping these people figure out what's going on. And definitely going and improving the sewer is going to help them a lot. And I think it's almost done.
Thank you.
Mike?
Thank you. Yes, another great month. This month of April already. Nice job, Dave. Nice job to the staff as well.
Jason?
Congrats to Alden and Elliot. That's great. Alden, best of luck at Maine Maritime Academy. One of the best schools, I think, in the state of Maine, as far as I'm concerned. And Elliot, great job with the robotics. That's amazing. Thanks to the staff and Dave for the great DEP report again. Common theme there every time we get great results, so really appreciate that. And that's it.
Thank you, Jason. Joe?
Dave, thanks for the annual report, very well detailed, and the DEP report. And again, thanks to all the staff for the continued hard efforts, and yours as well. And I appreciate all the information we're providing in the Highland Avenue Extension project. And I look forward to working with the residents and, you know, us being good stewards of the system. I just want to make sure we're providing good clarity, and I know we will. So I appreciate their efforts as well. And thank you for remembering Josh's anniversary and representing the district as you always do. So.
Cool. All right, I'm going to echo my fellow trustee comments. Congratulations to Alden from Maine Maritime Academy, getting in and getting the ROTC scholarship. Nicely done. And kudos to Elliot for winning the robotics competition. Good luck in Texas. I hope everyone had a blessed Easter. Thanks for remembering Josh and his anniversary. I appreciate that too. And with that, I will entertain the final motion of the evening.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Jay. All in favor? None opposed. We're done.